it's me NG and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna film a pre-debut ARMY Q&A video, and this video is long overdue because I was caught up in assignments and university life, you know. So let's get right into it, shall we? This Q&A is gonna be long. It's almost 50 questions or so, like some of the questions that you guys have sent in and some of the questions which I compiled from Twitter, you know, just to give you guys my experiences of being a pre-debut ARMY. And it's been a long journey, okay? So let's start. The first time I watched that video is during No More Dream music video, which came out in June 2013. Last time I was a multi-fan and I like a lot of groups previously, and I spent a lot of money on their albums, on their limited edition merch. But as I grew older, you know, some things are just not worth it, I think, because my priorities have changed firstly, and I'm also saving up to go vacation and things like that. So I think merch is not really necessary at this point in my life, but I purchased my ARMY bomb, which is a necessity for every ARMY, and this happens to be the most expensive merch that I've purchased. I think Everything Goes by RM is not necessarily an OT7 song, but I think Everything Goes by RM really comforts me a lot when I'm down, and especially when I was hit with depression, I guess you can say that, like a mild one, or like filled with anxiety or something. And Everything Goes really helped me get through those hard times. Sorry Namjoon, but I'll choose my boyfriend. Okay, reason is because one thing that my boyfriend recently said during these past few months during lockdown is that if I were to choose Kim Namjoon or him, and we had this conversation before, and he said something like, you know, if you were to choose Namjoon, but Namjoon has tons of ARMY who loves him, and the love that you receive maybe is just 0.000000001%, because you know his love he had to share with so many other people, but with me, himself, that's what he meant, but with me I can give you my love 100%. So I think that's kind of sweet. Actually, I don't mind sharing Namjoon with everyone, but I think that sort of stuck with me during our conversation. Yeah. Okay, this red hole, there are two phases, because the first part is when I got interested in them, and the second part is where I became a full fan. Like, I don't stand any boy groups anymore, I don't care about K-pop groups anymore, just BTS. So the first phase is approaching their debut date. That's when I became like a fan. But really, pre-debut days, it's just like, okay, I get interested in them, they're kind of funny, their songs are kind of lit. Those times where my friend introduced me to them, she sort of did her efforts to bring me into this red hole, but I'll explain more later. The second part was during Fire era, because during that time, I guess EXO was kind of popular. They're kind of like the #1 boy group because they won so many daesangs and stuff like that. But during Fire era, I realized that BTS is taking over the world. For me, for my standards, it's like I gotta be standing the best of the best. I don't settle for second in place and things like that. I just like standing the best, you know, what's there to lose. Apparently, BTS Fire is when I dedicate myself to standing them for life, you know, the purple blood for life. One So much for predebut army, right? Like, okay, here's the thing. I was supposed to go to the Red Bullet tour in Malaysia when they were here. But however, my stupid dumb ass chose VIX instead. VIX was also having a showcase in Malaysia, and the time period is quite close with each other, and for me, I don't have the luxury to attend both, so I gotta choose one, and I chose VIX for some reason. To this day, I still regret not going because that's the only concert that they had in Malaysia. But I managed to get my ass to Love Yourself tour in Singapore, and it was the best day of my life last year. And yeah, that's the only concert that I went to. Oh really? You know my BTS song? I mean, I like a lot of BTS songs. I could name a few, okay, maybe 2 of them that I could listen on repeat every day, which is Outro Tear and Ugh. Oh god. Yeah, as you can see, I really enjoy Rap Line a lot. I'm attracted to them a lot. Not to say that vocal line doesn't attract me, but Outro Tear and Ugh is the best of the best, you know? My seating area during Love Yourself tour in Singapore was pretty close to the center stage. I remember that time I saw Namjoon in real life, and he was so handsome. The highlight of the concert is Namjoon, Jimin, Taehyung were mostly at my area. I could see them just with my phone. It's clear as day, you know, I can zoom into your faces and wow, perfect. But Taehyung, he was directly that, I think it was during Pepsi or Fire, I can't remember, but he was looking directly in my sitting area. It's not just me, but a few of his armies were there as well, and he was just looking at that area, and I was like, I'm like, it was pretty amazing, and it was so hot, you know? Okay. Okay, during No More Dream, my first bias was Taehyung, and during pre-debut, I kind of like, okay, I know this guy, Rap Monster, and the rest. That's how I knew them. But during No More Dream, I remember my first ever bias was Taehyung, and then somehow along the lines it switched to Namjoon at some point. I can't remember, and now it's both of them. It's very frustrating, you know. My first comeback with them was during NO era, which comes naturally when you stem them since debut, or rather pre-debut. I don't think I've done anything crazy. I would say that I've grown up, I've matured, and compared to my younger days when I was a legit K-pop fan, I don't really do crazy things anymore. I don't have the time for that, and I don't want to spend my energy doing nonsense. So yeah, just support them like a normal human being, you know. It's cool enough for me. It would be On or Black Swan, but for my pre-debut experience, I'll just name the older ones as well. I think 화연 연화 is kind of a great MV, I would say. Yeah, part 1, I mean. I Need You. Yeah, I Need You. I Need You is a great MV. I really like that MV. Yes, I have, and I have met them during JK's first exhibition in Malaysia, and we had a great time. And moving on, I also met other Malaysian armies, and we became friends, and we still keep in contact with each other, and yeah, that's how our friendship grows. Favorite BT21 character? It would be Tata and RJ. Yeah. Not really, but I do have a phone case of BT21. All of the characters. I don't really own like a specific character, but I think Tata and RJ are pretty cute. Obviously, it's the No More Dream era. It would be Techita. Sorry, that's my mom. She's kind of a loud person. Yeah, Techita, and it was just streaming, I guess, and DNA. From the DNA. Or Techita, I can't remember. Yeah, sorry. It would be Puma. Puma has the best BTS ad, I guess. That during that time when BTS was Puma's ambassador, I think they really did a great job to portray BTS. Not to say that the current ads like Samsung, Chilsung, or Baskin Robbins are not that great, but I think Puma is really outstanding and it stands out way better than the rest. Yes, it was during the JK's first exhibition as well as Chin's exhibition, which happened last December. So in Malaysia, I guess they have a lot of these photo exhibitions done by fan sites, and they have volunteers to organize this exhibition, stuff like that, and that's where all our friends, we gather together and have fun. The Billboard Music Awards during 2017, where we vote, and obviously they won, and I think that moment really made me very proud of them and us for voting. There's this scene of Bon Voyage season 4, where they were in New Zealand and Taehyung wants to cuddle with Namjoon, but Namjoon was like, no thanks, man, you know. But I really wish they could cuddle, but yeah, that's one of the moments where I think a lot, and I wish Namjoon could have comply with Taehyung's request. I understand where it's coming from, so yeah, I think about that a lot. Yeah, obviously they knew like I was a K-pop fan for so many years, and they just put up with it as long as I go to their concert with the money that I saved up. Yeah, they're pretty okay with it. Favorite run episode is gonna be the zombie episode as well as the florist episode. I think that's kind of funny, and the pottery episode. I really like those three. Those are my top 3. I think it would be MMA 2019. Yeah, I still remember J-Hope's outfit is... I really love it. Next. Yeah, I do play them, but it only lasted for a week, I guess. A week or 2 weeks at most. And then I just uninstalled that game. I think I've heard rumors that they were a upcoming boy group. They are really talented in dancing, not really in singing at that time, but for dancing, yes. Performance wise, you know, why not? Because before BTS debuted, or rather when they first debuted, during that time I would say SHINee, BAP, EXO, VIX, Infinite, those are like the top boy groups who were excellent in dancing, in performance-wise. They produce a lot of good songs, and not necessarily produced by themselves, but the songs that they put out is really great. I really am a sucker for these things, and I'm like, no, why not keep in touch with BTS? And here am I. Yes, as you can see, this is my lock screen. I've pulled mostly Hyung line. I don't really pull Maknae line for some reason. I think because they are quite popular, but mostly it's just Yoongi, Hoseok, Chaeho, or Namjoon. I can't remember the last time I pulled a Taehyung or Jungkook. Mostly it's just Namjoon, Chaeho, Yoongi. Yeah. I do buy fake merch if it's really pretty. If not, I don't really buy it. Usually fake merch I would aim for photo cards or slogans, like fan site merch. I don't really buy fake merch, nor do I buy original merch as well. But say for fake merch, usually it's mostly photo cards, especially those illuminated ones. They're really cool. Honestly, I ship all of them. For some reason, I like all of them, but these days, my friend Chris, she's been unconsciously dragging me into the Taekook shit. But I like Jikook as well. I like Vimin. I like all of them. I think I'm most allied with Taehyung. He can be really quiet sometimes, but I mean his opinion speaks volumes, and I really admire that fact. He sometimes come up with the most wholesome ideas, and it's such a shame sometimes because every time he wants to talk and the other members will bicker with each other and he doesn't have the chance to talk. So I think that Taehyung and I are quite similar in terms of personality. I guess it would be closest to Namjoon because he's born on the 12th, and Jungkook is born on the 1st, and I think both of them are pretty close. Here's the thing about selling albums. Until now, I still don't get it when people sell their albums to gain money. That's something that I always pondered upon, because when you buy albums, it's meant for you to keep it for the rest of your life, and you can grow a collection with it, but sometimes I just don't understand why you want to sell albums. I didn't get it at first until I collected a bunch of K-pop albums and I really want to sell them, but ended up I couldn't sell them because no one is no longer interested in them. It's such a waste, to be honest. I always wondered why. Why sell your albums when you can treasure them and, you know, keep them as close to your heart? Favorite album would be the Young Forever album. I can't remember for some reason. That one with the hot balloon. Yeah, I think that album is really well done, especially for their concept, day and night version. Album tracks, I would say Love Yourself, Tear. There is a reason why Love Yourself, Tear is able to get a Grammy nom. I mean, obviously it's because of their design, but tracks, can choose more than one. I think the Love Yourself series is really creative, well thought. They really put in their utmost effort into creating those designs. It's really aesthetic, you know, especially like Love Yourself Her, it's white, and then for tear is grayish black, and then for answer is like a holograph. What's the thing called? Like 可以反亮. Whatever, but I think that entire series is really aesthetic. Yes, I've watched both docu-series. I think Big Hit is really trying their best, but you know, sometimes manager armies are really top-notch annoying. They really like to control what BTS or their staffs think that is the best for their agency, their company, or their artists to grow as a community in their company. But the staffs at Big Hit knows what's best for their artists. And I believe BTS are not stupid or being idiots. I believe they have brains, really smart brains, for them to think what is best for them. And if Big Hit is mistreating BTS, I think that BTS wouldn't renew their 7-year contract with Big Hit and would have parted ways by then, you know. But BTS is able to stay strong and put their trust in Big Hit to give them the support they need to, you know, advance further, being the best boy band in the world. Imagine, okay, which company lets their artists to produce their own mixtapes and, you know, even say the F word or like to cuss in their mixtapes, I mean, and you know, like having intro, outro, having solo songs for each member in the album. Who does that? It's BTS, Big Hit, you know? I'm not saying that I'm a company fan, but I think Big Hit has their own well intentions to carry their artists, not just BTS but TXT as well and Lee-hyun, 선배님, together to progress in their artistry, in their music. So here is the story of how I got into BTS. At that time, I was a EXO-L. And during that time, EXO was pretty popular. They have the best dance, they have the best vocals. I still like EXO songs, but not their fans, okay? During that time, I was also into VIX, and I was really shipping EXO and VIX together because of their special and unique friendship. And then one day, my friend, who is a real hip-hop fan, she introduced me to this group called Taenam Hyuk. And DNH, short for Taenam Hyuk, is it consists of several rappers and producers. Apparently the beat is good, the flow is good, and she introduced them to me, and Namjoon was in it. And then we started talking, and she was like, hey, you know, I think this new group called 방탄소년단 will be debuting soon. Why not check them out? You know, they are pretty talented. And she gave me like a bunch of their pre-debut tracks for me to listen to. And I thought, hey, that's kind of nice. And at that time, I was also into hip-hop, but not really, just listen for the fun of it. I still like pop stuff at that time. She was like, just give it a listen and we'll see how that goes. And yeah, that's how I became a fan. It's really thanks to her that I could claim myself that I am a pre-debut fan and not really discover them at the later years of my life, because at that time I was pretty reliant on K-pop idols to get my life together. Not something that I could have achieved by my own, but this kind of reliance on K-pop. Until now, that's how I began to be dependent on BTS as well for mental health, stuff like that. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but at some point of my life, I gotta outgrow this. You know, I gotta deal with my own weaknesses by myself. But in the meantime, you know, BTS is here to stay. They're conquering the world. Why not? In fact, and Namjoon even say that please use BTS to love yourself. Fortunately, 12 a.m. KST is 11 p.m. It's just one hour later. It's pretty convenient, I would say, because imagine if you're to live in the US or Europe. Imagine how terrible would that be, especially when 12 a.m. KST and over there is like, I don't know, working hours. Imagine if it's like 4 a.m. 5 a.m. and you gotta stay up and, you know, try to catch things. I feel for those living in another country, couldn't really keep up with the time. They had to sacrifice their own sleep to watch BTS. I have a lot of opinions on this. I think that ARMY has grown a lot. They used to be people who were being stepped on by other fans who does not know their limit, and I really applaud for ARMY's courage to stand strong till now, you know. And to be honest, K-ARMY and International ARMY were not that close before. They were calling us eye roaches and something other than eye roaches. I forgot what's the term, but mainly eye roaches. And it wasn't until where there's this translator named Peachy Soda. She began to initiate this entire love letter exchange between International ARMY and Korean ARMY. And that's how we try to understand each other more. Like, she would translate our letters to Korean ARMY, and Korean ARMY would give us their letters back to us in English, and that's how we build our friendship and our bond during that period. I'm really thankful to Peachy Soda because she came up with this idea, and that's how we can work together to be the best fandom in the world. Recently, I think ARMY has grown a bit cocky, a bit not knowing their place in the fandom. This is really controversial, but I gotta say this as a long time fan, or rather ARMY. For you to know your own place in a fandom is that you know yourself as a fan and nothing more, nothing less. You don't control the boys' life. You don't micromanage what needs to be done, what, like, controlling other ARMY's life. Like, oh, you should vote, you must vote. But some ARMYs, I gotta say, they have to know the fact that not every ARMY have the luxury to vote all the time, and we have to know our own places. Like, for those who can vote, please do vote, but for those who can't, try to find time, because you can't just leave all the responsibilities on other ARMYs to vote and you don't vote, you know, that kind of thing. I just wish that ARMY can get themselves back together. You know, like Boy in Love era, how everyone is so cooperative, so understanding, so united as one family. And these days, it's just, I don't know, there's a lot of calling out and people trying not to be themselves, who wanted to be other people, lying, you know, cheating people, other ARMYs out of their money. And it feels a bit different, but I really hope that we can get ourselves back together before the next comeback. I'm watching you. Most underrated track in BTS discography, it would be Outro Circle Room Cypher. Yes, this is the most underrated track ever in their discography. If you don't know the song, check it out. It would be Dead Leaves. I think they changed my life to be a better person, and I think my battery is running out, so